Hello, 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 everyone. Dr. David Snyder checking in. Welcome to Secrets of How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind. I'm your host, Dr. David Snyder, and I'll be taking you on a guided tour of your subconscious mind. I'll be showing you the tips and tricks for how to get the most out of the most powerful manifestation engine on the planet, the one running your life. That's your subconscious mind. Before we get into tonight's content, let's do a few administrative things. First of all, if this is your first time, please type your name, where you're checking in from, and how you found us. Did YouTube randomly spit up a video to you and you followed the link, or did you join our email list? How did you find us? And I'm curious to know how what is it you want to take away from tonight's webinar training? Yes, we're going to be showing you a package that we put together, and the things we're going to be going through tonight are derived from that package. Of course, you certainly don't need to buy the package if you aren't in a place to do that. But if you know you're ready for a change, then this might be a good place for you to start leveling up your life. But I want to know how to target tonight's content specifically for the applications that you have in mind. So first and foremost, if this is your first time with us, I'll give you my bio and all that cool stuff in just a minute. But just so I understand you better, if this is your first time, type your name, where you're checking in from, and what you'd like to get out of tonight's training. If you're a veteran of Planet David, if you've been bopping around the channel or the products and services for any length of time, please type in your name, how long you've been in Planet David, and what you would like to get out of tonight's webinar. You guys have been the veterans. I love my veterans because probably them more than anybody else can speak to the effectiveness of these techniques, right? You guys, anytime a guy gets on a webinar, a girl gets on a webinar, you expect that person to stand in front of you and say, my stuff is the best there is. I've discovered all the secrets and I have all the answers, right? And I did. No, I'm teasing. But the truth is that the best proof of a system, any system, mine, other people's, whatever, is in the results of the people who actually practice it, in the results that the students get when they apply this stuff. So for my edification, and again, because I'm always trying to create content for you guys that you can use, right? Because that's why you come to this channel, aside from the entertainment value and the what vest is he going to wear today, right? This is really about you moving your life forward, about moving the needle of your life and getting you the things you want, getting out of your own way. So usually when we talk about how to reprogram the subconscious mind, we basically fall into one of two or three categories, give or take, right? There's something we want to do better, right? There's something we want to fix, or we want to manifest stuff. And so pick one, or pick, whatever order is important to you. Type those in the chat. So Julia wants to know about MK Ultra deprogramming. Believe it or not, that's actually something I know a little bit about. Edie says, every time you teach, it's slightly different. I'm looking for what I call chance comments, which are the little gems that give me the aha moments. Edie has been around for a while. Many times what you'll discover is that in a lot of the Planet David content, you'll see a lot of things repeated over and over and over again. And every now and then, I'll drop a little nugget, right? And all of a sudden, a whole other zip file or a whole other perspective on things you thought you knew will open up. And this is an important piece because as you got the big pieces, now all of a sudden it's the little pieces that really matter. And I never know what's coming out of my mouth from one moment to the next, but certainly I have had those experiences many, many times. So even if this is your first time and you stay through the entire webinar, which I encourage you to do, because we have some amazingly cool offers and things we do at the end of the webinar that people actually really, really enjoy. So just to make sure that I understand you and that we're in the right place, how many of you would like to use this to make more money? Type "that's me" in the chat if you'd like to reprogram your subconscious mind to make more money. Okay, very cool. How many of you would like to stop being afraid? Become more confident? Be more attractive, maybe? Right? Remove blocks to your success, eliminate self-sabotage, attract good people into your life, right? Do any of these sound familiar? Pay attention tonight, because if you stay through the end of the webinar, you're going to get some of the most powerful master keys to doing all of those things and a whole lot more. So let me go ahead and move things around a little bit. I'm going to try something a little bit different here. I'm always trying to find the best way to do these webinars. I'm not a big fan of PowerPoint, but at the same time, I get that Some people really, really kind of like the structure of a PowerPoint. So what we're going to focus on today is special techniques for overcoming limiting beliefs, removing blocks to your success, getting rid of negative emotions, and how to program your mind for unlimited success. I do that a little bit different every single time, and the universe is telling me to change it up a little bit. But let me see what I got here. We got Dan checking in, been a longtime resident, 2016. We got Jan in Santa Monica. We got Nathan. We got Linda. We got Tercia. We got Julia, Nathan, Lamar, Eduardo. Very good. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So last thing before we get into the content today. One of the problems that we have is questions. People always have questions, and they always want to know about stuff that may not be specific. Hey, there's Jim in Arizona, right? They may not be specific to things that we're teaching in this webinar. The unconscious mind is a universal. It's a constant. No matter what field of endeavor you are going to be operating in, everything that we do as human beings has to pass through the prism and the information processing network of your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is brilliant in its ability to help you to survive and get through certain types of situations. The problem with the subconscious mind is that it tends to do what it's done before, because it logs things as successes that we as a conscious being would not log as success. So I should probably go into that, right? But before I do, let's go back to questions. I know I opened a bunch of loops here. You're going to have questions. And those questions very often are about things that maybe we're not at in that point of the webinar yet, or sometimes we're even, it's not even close to the content of tonight's webinar. So if you have questions, there are 3 ways you can get your questions answered. You can go to the replay chat when this replay goes live. There's always a replay for our webinar, so you never have to worry about missing the content. You may miss out on the offers at the end, but you'll never miss the content. So if I don't answer your question during the webinar, go to the comments section of the replay of this video within 30 to 45 minutes or so, after the webinar is over. Type your question. I make it a practice to go over those comments every 2 or 3 times a week and answer any questions that people have. That's probably the most succinct way to get an answer that you're looking for. There's 2 other ways. They're a little bit more iffy. You can type your question in the chat. If I see it and it's germane to where we are in the webinar, then I'm happy to answer it. But if it's not, I'm gonna opt to reserve the right to pass over that question and answer it at a later time, maybe during a webinar or during a Q&A session where it's more relevant. The final way you can get your question answered is if there's a question that you have, you can type it in the chat. And if I don't see it, but some of our Planet David veterans who have experience in that particular subject or have an answer for that, I'm going to invite them to reach out to you privately in a non-distracting way, answer the question for you, because many of our veterans have used this stuff in some of the craziest places you can think of. Everything from in the middle of a crowded airport with a guy undergoing post-traumatic stress disorder attacks to 70 miles an hour over the phone down a highway, right? Noisy. We can do this stuff anytime, anywhere, under any circumstances. Now, that's a big claim, but we call what we do real-world hypnosis and NLP for a very, very specific reason. We have 2 mottos in Planet David that we adhere to very, very strictly. The ability to do this stuff anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. That's one of the things that our particular training program is famous for. The other is get the change no matter what, right? No matter what's happening, no matter what's going on, we're going to do whatever we can to get that change in the shortest amount of time possible, right? So those are the 2 things that you can count on with the content from tonight's webinars. Tonight's going to be all about giving you some solid, hardcore techniques that you can take out into the world. Those techniques are drawn from an overall system that we're going to be sharing with you or giving you access to as a byproduct of tonight's training. But tonight is about actionable material that you can start to use right away. The first part of our webinar will be foundations and experiences. Things that we have to do to lay the groundwork for very powerful, very rapid change, and how you can access and dialogue with your own subconscious mind. Okay. The second part of the webinar will be the offer stage. This is where we'll show you how to take the next steps to get access to the complete system that we're cherry picking some of the techniques for tonight's webinar from. And if you choose to level up your life, we'll show you the fastest, easiest, most economical way to do that. Part 3 of the webinar is what I call the customization phase. Customization phase is where we take everything that you want to learn tonight as a group, we organize it, we create a little mini lesson plan on the spot for you, and we're going to do those techniques together. We're going to give you the experience of those in the part 3, so you have more techniques that are specific to why you showed up here on the webinar. That's my intention for tonight. If this is the scope of everything there is to know about your subconscious mind, we have time for this. So my promise to you, my commitment to you as your guide, your mentor, your teacher, your friend, whatever word you want to use to describe to me. And as Tony Robbins would say, I am not your guru, right? My job is to take you as far down this rabbit hole as I can, give you solid, real world, actionable, proven stuff that you can just start using right away, and then show you how to get access to everything else if that's where your path takes you. Is that a fair trade? If you think that's fair, type that's fair in the chat. Cool. All right. So let's talk about fundamentals. One of the things that I discovered many, many years ago, and when I started this, how many of you guys are new again? I should probably tell you a little bit about who I am. I am an actual doctor. My name is Dr. David Snyder, and I have two doctorates, actually. I have a doctorate in Chinese acupuncture and Chinese acupuncture and Chinese medicine from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I also have a spiritual doctorate in Taoist Chinese energetic medicine, which is most of the stuff that the communists outlawed in energetic medicine that was outlawed in China right around the 90s, I guess it was. There was a whole thousands of years of tradition that were just wiped off not given access to. I was very fortunate to be trained in those things. I have a 10th degree black belt in the martial arts. I've authored over 15 different products on various forms of human influence. Perhaps most importantly, even though it wasn't the first thing I mentioned, was I've maintained a practice here in Solana Beach, California since 2005, where my specialty has been treating physiological illness caused by repressed emotion. Now, most people, when they come to an acupuncturist, they're doing chronic pain and things of that nature. When they come to a hypnotist or neurolinguistic programmer, they're doing habit control, they're doing weight loss or smoke cessation. That was never the client that I had practically from the day that I opened my doors. From the time I opened my doors, I was almost exclusively off medical referrals. And I started with intractable and chronic pain. Usually have a musculoskeletal variety. That quickly changed to type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes. It changed into chronic diseases, leukemia, cancers, muscular dystrophy, so many different types of chronic illness. And one of the things I discovered in my journey to helping people heal was that 99%, give or take a percentage point, 99% of all chronic illness has at its source some kind of repressed emotional charge and a set of memories that are fueling that charge and keeping that charge going. And it's the inability of a person to let go of that charge and reprocess those events that is keeping them stuck and or manifesting an illness in their life. And so the vast majority of my work clinically for the last, it's 2025, we'll say 20 years, literally, has been unpacking how the unconscious mind, how the subconscious mind creates those things and how the subconscious mind changes those things. So the first few things I'm going to give you in tonight's webinar are fundamentals, and if I may be so bold, I'm going to say universals, right? Because I have not found a situation where this has not had an impact on a person. So here's the first thing that we need to understand. Everything that we as human beings experience, every form of endeavor, from doing a webinar to doing healing and therapy, to sales and marketing, to playing basketball, riding horseback, ballet, martial arts, everything that human beings do is processed and expressed through the same set of systems. Colloquially or collectively, we'll call that your autonomic nervous system, or other than conscious mind. Now, we could go into all the different divisions of the nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, the parasympathetic, the sympathetic nervous system, all these different systems that make up that whole other than conscious mind. We don't need to do that, although I could spend hours and hours showing you how these different systems interrelate. We don't need to know and understand all of those systems to be able to operate the system. We just need a few guiding principles, a few basic mechanical things, and literal magic will happen in your nervous system. And the best part about all of it is you don't have to believe any of it. You do not have to believe in a single thing that I'm about to share with you tonight for it to work for you. The only prerequisite really is you got to want it. If you want it truly, and you can be playful and be like a little kid playing pretend, then you can literally make any change that you want within your nervous system for just about any reason that you want. Right? The only variable is time and scope. All right. So you guys with me so far? If you're with me, go ahead and type that into chat. Okay. Cool. Excellent. All right. So you're going to want a pencil. You're going to want something to write down notes with. There may be some writing exercises that we do. I haven't decided yet exactly which experiences I'm going to give you, but we're going to work very, very. Jagdeep Singh says, playing pretend. Can you please suggest how for a serious person? Can you remember when you were a little kid? What was your favorite pretend game to play? Do that again. It's really, really simple, right? Remember what it was like to be a little kid and play pretend, right? Give yourself permission to do that, right? Remember that seriousness isn't, if we say I'm a serious person, what we're saying is we've created an identity that I'm serious, but that's something you created, which brings us to the principles that, don't go all Joker on me, Julia. Didn't think I'd get that reference, huh? Right? So first rule, what the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. Let me say that 3 more times. What the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. What the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. What did I just say? Type it in the chat. What did I just say? What the nervous system, type it in the chat so I can see that you're actually paying attention. Okay. Don't mind me. I want to make sure that my lovely YouTube family is also able to see the webinar, because I was trying to get the restream set up and it didn't quite go as fast as I wanted it to go. All right. Okay. What the nervous system creates, perfect. Perfect. Here's the next piece to that. This is the important part. What the nervous system creates, what the nervous system creates, the nervous system can change. Say that 2 more times for you. What the nervous system creates, the nervous system can change. Type it in the chat. Excellent. Thank you, Eve. Eve's on the ball. Dominic's on the ball, right? All you need to do is take all the different layers of the nervous system and connect them together in the right way. And you can change anything you want into practically anything that you want. Okay. Would you guys like to play with that right now? Okay. So couple of ground rules. First and foremost, I want you guys to adopt a very playful. How many of you here by a show of that's me in the chat have ever been little children? Anybody? Jag says yes. Good. How many of you, when you were little children, loved to play pretend? Jim says maybe. There's always one. Julie says you still do. Excellent. Perfect. Here's the secret to this transformation. All you have to do is play pretend every time, or just like when you were a little kid, and you can change anything you want. Jag, you said you were beaten every time. We'll have to change that, won't we? Yeah. Do I really make that statement very, very lightly? I do in some cases. And here's why. Every thought, every memory, every daydream, every fantasy, every goal, every nightmare is built from the same system, exactly the same way, from the same stuff. And if you understand that stuff, you can change anything you want. I truly believe this, by the way. You can change anything you want into anything you want. Okay. So we got, let me look at my Zoomers here. Charlene Grace, nervous system, very good, Charlene. Daniel, very good. Sorbers, I can't pronounce that, but it begins with a sore. Vanyi, good. Excellent. So here's what we want to do for, I see your hand raised, David. Just type your question in the chat. Which part, sir? Which part would you like me to repeat? What if you're dealing with narcissists and gangsters? How does that change? How does that relate to your subconscious mind? Which, by the way, is the same way, right? Again, we're getting off topic, okay? Same system, same stuff. Okay, every thought, every memory, every daydream, every fantasy, every nightmare, every fear, every self-limiting belief, they're all made the same way from the same stuff. And if you understand what that stuff is, you can rearrange it to change anything you want into anything you want. So we're going to have a couple of experiences together that are going to allow you to experience that for yourself, right? So this first piece is we have to get playful. We have to, first of all, we have to want the change. You don't have to believe it's possible, but you do have to want it. Does anybody here not want something to change? Because if you don't want something to change, you should probably not be on this webinar. But how many of you want change? Scale of 0 to 10, rate the intensity of how much you want change. Love change? I do 15. Jag says 100. Okay. You know, guys, one of the first most important things about being in Planet David is the ability to follow directions. So when I say on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want change? And you give me 1,000 and 100, that's not following directions. I'm teasing you, by the way. That's great. But here's my question for you. Why so much? Why do you want that so bad? Why didn't you rate it less? Why didn't you rate it less? Type it in the chat. Edie says, because I need it. Okay. Because solving it is a must. All right. That's what life is and should be. Perfect. Problems is my life. All right. How soon do you want to get started? How soon do you want to get started? All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is state. For every psycho-emotional state that you have, there is a corresponding physiology and breathing pattern that allows that thing to manifest. Okay? So we're going to do that right now. What if, let me ask you guys a question. What if you had the ability to take whatever state you're in at any given moment and transform it into something else? Would that be useful? Like, let's say you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling anxious. What if we had the ability to instantly change that into something else? And when by instantly, I say 35 seconds or less. Okay. It's going to take me longer than 35 seconds to teach it to you, but once you have it in place, you'll be able to do it. Okay. So a couple of things. This training tonight involves the use of altered states of consciousness. Okay. You can use whatever word to define altered states of consciousness that you like. You can think of it as energy psychology, visualization, guided meditation, hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, energy psychology, holographic memory resolution, divine providence. It doesn't matter to me what you call it. Because there's two things that are for certain. A, everything that is going on in your life right now was created through the processing systems in your autonomic neurology. Okay? It created every single issue, talent, daydream, fantasy, whatever. And it has a system that it uses to do that. The other part of it is how that creates different states of consciousness within you. So on an organic level, your physiology and your breathing control your consciousness. And your consciousness controls your physiology and your breathing. Now, in Planet David, we have a term we call functional consciousness. Functional consciousness. Functional consciousness is the meaning that you assign to the things you perceive in your environment based on the feelings in your body, the context, and your previous experiences. When those things combine, we have a perception of the world around us that will allow us to see the world a certain way and keep us from seeing it in other ways. That is functional consciousness. A lot of it is mediated by the feelings in your body, your interoception. I'm going to try to not use really big words. Okay? You don't need to know what interoception is and proprioception is and mirror neurons and all that cardiac neurology stuff. We could talk about that all day long. You guys came here to change, true or not true? Okay. Believe me when I say this. When you get your packages, all this will be thoroughly explained and you will become a master of transformation, both for yourself and for the people that you choose to help. But for right now, what's important is that you have an experience. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get playful. Now, what if, like Jag, you've never had an experience of being playful? That's perfect, because all you have to do is play pretend. In other words, if you've never been playful or had an experience of being playful, can you imagine what that might be like? Now, the key word here is might. Can you imagine what that might be like? Does theater sports count? I don't know what theater sports are. So if you can explain it, it probably will. Any kind of theater is going to make you oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Any kind of theater where you get to play pretend. Yeah, it's perfect. All right. But getting back to the altered states of consciousness aspect, the next few drills we're going to do, are either going to involve you closing your eyes and following along, or altering your states of consciousness in some way. That being said, if you're driving a car, operating machinery, or doing anything else that requires your full and undivided attention to operate and perform it safely, I am prohibiting you from doing this exercise. Okay? I can't be held responsible for you driving off the road because you were listening to me use hypnotic language on you while driving and getting highway hypnotized and boom, right? Not doing that. If you want to participate in this process in real time with me now, okay, you're going to need to find a place to park, pull into the parking space, put the car in park, put the parking brake on, turn the key off, take it out of the ignition, make sure your doors are locked and it's not too hot or it's not too cold. You will not be disturbed. Okay? If you're sitting at home and you're about to do this exercise with me, first and foremost, I need you to make sure that the pets and the kids are outside and the door is closed. I need you to make sure your phone is set to silent or airplane mode or just basically off. Okay? I want us to have as much fun with this as humanly possible. I'm going to go through the exercises or the drills as quickly as I can. If you did nothing else but the drills I'm about to share with you every day for 30 days, your life would change. Your life would change. Julie, my cat is sleeping. Is that okay? Your cat will be sleeping until you start doing this exercise. And then the energy in the room will shift. Your cat will wake up and it will jump in your lap. But don't believe me. Test it out and you will see. Okay. Animals are extremely, extremely, extremely sensitive to the subtle micro changes or micro pulsations of your energy fields in the room. They're very, very sensitive to that. And because we're going to be changing your energy, your different levels of your nervous system into very high vibrations, it's going to want to come along for the ride. So, all right. So you guys ready to play? Yes or yes? Cool. I want you to stand up. Now, for those of you who have issues with playfulness, remember a time in your life when you felt the most amazing, wonderful, satisfying, intense pleasure ever. In fact, why don't we do that one first? Why don't we do that one first? I want you to stand up. I want you to close your eyes. Think back to a time in your life when you were feeling the most amazing, thrilling, fulfilling, satisfying pleasure imaginable. Oh my God, really? No, I'm teasing, right? I'm not the pleasure police. I don't care what you were doing, who you were with, how many state lines you crossed, how many laws you broke, right? All I care about what substances were involved, how many people were involved, whether there was clothing or not. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is that when you remember that most amazing, wonderful, satisfying, gratifying, pleasurable experience, it's the best one you can come up with in the moment. Okay? Whatever it is, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to remember that moment. I want you to remember what you were seeing in that moment of absolute pleasure. Remember what you were smelling and what you were tasting. And when you have that, and you see what you see, and you hear what you hear, and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there is an amazing, wonderful feeling you get, a feeling of absolute pleasure. Now, as you allow that feeling to well up from deep inside of you, from whatever part of your body it's stored, I want you to focus fully on following my instructions. Do not attempt in this moment to type anything in the chat or answer any of the questions I'm about to ask you in the chat. Simply answer it for yourself out loud. As you think of that, as you feel that amazing pleasure welling up from deep inside of you, I'd like you to notice that there's a place in your body where it starts, where it grows, where it spreads from. Take a moment, notice where you feel it, and point to it. First impression. Always go with your first impressions. Okay, if you find yourself going, oh, that can't be right, or what I meant was this, go with the first thing that came up, disregard everything else. Point to where you feel it. If there was a color connected to that feeling, what color or colors might it be for you? First impression. And whatever it is, I want you to imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. I'd like you to notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That amazing ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of pleasure. A cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all bummers, all downers, all less than pleasurable experiences, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs, in an infinite, ever-expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, breathe those amazing colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely. No force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. And when you realize it's true, it's locked in, impossible to turn off, test it. Try to turn it off. Try to imagine something outside of you trying to turn that off. and notice what happens instead. And when you're satisfied, I want you to stop testing. Let that energy flow even stronger. Now, when you're satisfied, stop testing, allow your eyes to open, and type in the chat what you just experienced. Edie says release. Daniel says best feelings of my life. Lamar says powerful. Jag says out of the zombie state. Hallelujah, Jag. Felt it in my belly. The color orange as it grew, my temperature went up. I smiled. Excellent. Michelle says peace. David says almost ecstasy. Perfect. Great. Calm. Excellent. We're just getting started. Liliana says a flood of joyful memories. You guys ready to make it even better? Victor says expansion, vitality. Julie says yes. All right. Tim says flush of energy. All right. So all we did here was we activated a memory, found the somatic location, the body location where it is, turned it into a color, manipulated the color. Your nervous system said, oh, I can do that, and did everything else for you. Daryl says floating light as a feather in peace. Very good. Close your eyes once again. Imagine that color above your head. Fill the room with it. Wrap it around you. Breathe it through your entire being. Twice as strong as before. There's no need to measure it or manage it or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself fully and completely, whole and total. And when you know you've got it, test it. Try to turn it off. Try to take it away. Try to imagine something outside of you taking this away and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, and only when you're satisfied, stop testing. Notice where it's strongest in your body, where it started from, and point to it again. As you do that, and you become aware of that spot, I'm going to ask you a separate question now. If there was a picture floating somewhere in the space around you that represented that amazing experience, a picture you could reach out and touch with your other hand, where would you reach out to touch it? First impression. Just reach out with that other hand and touch it. Now take both of your hands. Trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. And make sure we've got the right one. Grab the edges of it, make the picture bigger, and notice, do the feelings get stronger or do they get weaker? Doesn't matter what happens, just know which one happens. Bring it back to its original size. Keep the size of the picture now exactly the same and slowly pull it closer to your body. And notice, do the feelings get stronger or do they get weaker? Now take it, lift it up over your head, pull it down around you like a big blanket, and notice what happens to the feelings now. Do they get stronger or do they get weaker? And just enjoy it. Now you can have these feelings back in whatever way you want in just a moment. But for the sake of our drill, I want you to unwrap that feeling, lift it back up over your head. Now, most of you know what a Frisbee is or a pizza box or something like that. I want you to imagine now that this picture that you're holding up there is now shaped like a Frisbee or a disc or a pizza box. And I want you to take that Frisbee or pizza box. I want you to throw it behind you, all the way behind you for miles and miles and miles until it disappears behind the horizon. It just dips down below the horizon and disappears completely. When you know it's gone, scan your body and notice what happened to those feelings. Do they get stronger? Do they weaker? Do they change? Do they stay the same? What happened in your body? Once you've done that, reach your hands up. Imagine your hands are now the world's most powerful Frisbee magnets. And suck that Frisbee right back into your hands. And as you hold that picture up there with all those wonderful feelings in it, I'm going to teach you one of the most powerful, empowering, and important things you're going to learn, quite possibly for the rest of your life. Inside your mind, body, and soul, you are the god or goddess of your reality. You are the king or queen of your universe, and you have absolutely every right, privilege, and authority to make any change that you want for any reason that you want. And I want you to take charge of your power. I want you to take hold of your power right now. I want you to take that power, that authority, that playfulness, and I want you to play with the picture. I want you to make it bigger, make it smaller, move it up, move it down, move it in your body, move it out of your body. Notice how every time you change the size, shape, and location of that picture, the feelings, the quality of those feelings, the intensity of those feelings change too. And I want you to keep playing with it until you find the exact size, shape, location that gives you the exact feelings you want to have at the exact intensity level that you want to have it. And when you find that sweet spot, I want you to fix it into place. And notice how the feelings in your body shift and change. The energy flows from the picture to your body, from your body to your heart, from your heart to your bloodstream, and from your bloodstream, every place your blood flows, those feelings go into every nerve, into every cell, into every atom, into the very DNA of those cells, transforming, reprogramming, turning each and every cell of your body into a powerful, perpetual pleasure factory. Each cell of your body generating more and more and more of those amazing feelings in an infinite, ever expanding, and unlimited supply. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself inside of you completely, fully, whole and total, impossible to turn off. And when you realize it's true, it's locked in, test it. Try to turn it off, try to make it go away, and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, go ahead and stop testing. Scan your body, notice how different you feel. Type what you experienced in the chat. Julia says, I felt like a giant. Very good. Jag zoned out. Nathan says, absolute security and warmth. Anybody else? Tony says, in the zone. Daniel says, happy. Very good. All right. So just for fun, on your own now, Daryl says, feeling good all over, almost like I'm still floating in a cloud, but happy. Liliana says, almost made me cry at the abundant joy, amazed I can feel it again. Yes. Now, remember I said, well, let's do it first, and then we'll talk about it. I want you to just shake it off a little bit. Maybe set a timer. I want you to close your eyes. Imagine your pleasure color above your head. Fill the room with it. Wrap it around you and breathe it through your body and notice what happens. And then type in the chat what you experienced. Amar says, David, what is the name of this program? I would like to get this program. It's the Master Your Mind webinar package that we're going to be offering. For those of you who would like to grab it ahead of time, go ahead and reach out to Mia. She'll give you a link. Julia says, went right into my stance. Edie says, sparkles. What else? Charlene says, I felt total peace. Fire Dragon says security and strength, although probably doesn't read the YouTube comments. Surprise! Jose says high in frequency. Fire Dragon says peace and strong. Jose says, I feel like a feather. Daryl says, I'm extremely relaxed, like I'm paralyzed, very calm and drunk. Okay. Liliana says, a sense of fulfillment. Let me ask you a question. The exercise you just did, imagine the color, fill the room, wrap it around you, breathe it through you. How long did that take? Edie says seconds. So I lied, huh? It's actually less than 35 seconds, isn't it? I believe in under-promising and over-delivering. True or not true? Did you do it in less than 35 seconds? Yeah. Okay. Is it really that easy? Yeah. If all the pieces are in place and you can play pretend. If you can remember something and want it and ask yourself a few basic questions, your autonomic nervous system, your deep unconscious mind, your deep other than conscious mind can change just about anything you want into anything you want. The secret is communication. Secret is understanding a few basic principles and then being able to communicate from one level of your nervous system to the next. And this is where everything starts to break down. Your deep autonomic systems have a language, machine language, for lack of a better word, that it uses to create all of your subjective experiences. And it's your subjective experiences that are controlling your life. Do you guys know what I mean when I say a subjective experience? Because this is when it loses people if I don't clarify it. Do you guys understand what I mean when I say a subjective experience? Daniel says no. That's honest. Julie says no, within you. Okay. Let's flip the script on that. Let's ask a different question. What's an objective experience? What is an objective experience? Eduardo says your subjective point of view. Julia says a set. Okay. So we don't really know what a subjective versus an objective experience is, don't we? And here's why. Because the vast majority of things that we consider objective are not. Right? There are things that we can measure that are largely consistent when we measure them with a device from one person to the next, one context to the next. But how we interpret that data is purely subjective. Everything your nervous system does is take basically the physics equivalent of electromagnetic ones and zeros and converts them into something we can relate to. Think about your computer monitor or the phone that you're watching this on right now. Do you understand that the image of me that you're seeing is completely made up? It's an interpretation of electromagnetic ones and zeros. That this particular device, this particular system, transforms into a metaphor, a subjective experience that you can relate to. Everything in your reality is 99% subjective. It's 99% made up. Projection happens later on, Liliana. Projection is a subjective experience, but it's one of several subjective experiences. Now, the reason I say that is because pain, pleasure, rejection, guilt, limiting beliefs, identities, all of those things are things you make up. They're not who you are. And yes, Liliana, even trauma is made from this. It's a subjective experience. Here's two things. How many people here have some stuff they'd like to clear? Anybody? Okay. I do, right? I'm clearing stuff all the time. Here's the thing we need to understand. Your traumas are built the same way that your fantasies are built. The way we start to change them is exactly what we started with 10 minutes ago. Point to where you feel it, reach out and touch the picture, move the picture around. Do you need to know all the neuroscience and all the research that went into that that discovery? The answer is no. Just like you don't have to know how your car is built to drive the damn thing. Now, I will teach you those things if you want to learn them, so you can create even better results. But right now, in this moment, for a lot of you didn't know me from Adam 20 minutes ago or an hour ago, right? I had to give you something to show you that this is not BS and that you can do this. Lamar says, David, would you be so kind to talk about this program and how to get it? Lamar, I promise you, I will talk about the program and how to get it. I want to teach you something else first, if that's okay. Would you like me to talk about the program now, or would you like me to teach you something else and then teach you the new thing after I talk about the program? Which would you guys like to do? Okay. All right. Okay. So the first thing we did was we integrated your physical body with your imagination. We did that through your proprioceptive nervous system. Now, you don't need to know any more than that, but here's the bottom line. If you can point to where you feel it, you can change it. Okay, do you see what I did? Point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, you can change it. You guys with me on that? Type it in the chat, point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, you can change it. Good, okay. The next thing we need to do is we need to know how to trust the information that comes up from our autonomic nervous system and our other than conscious mind to our conscious mind. If you try to use the conscious mind's interpretation of things, you will never get to the source of the problem. You will never get to the level of the system that you need to change. All right, here's a metaphor for you guys. How many of you have a Facebook account or a YouTube account? Doug, or an Instagram account or a website? Pretty much all of us, right? You got a Zoom account. How do you get into your Zoom account? How do you get into your Zoom account? You have to log in, Julie says. When I name what I want, I point to where I feel it, and I reach out and touch it, I've just logged in to my nervous system. The username and password to your nervous system is point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it. Okay? Because if you were to ask a web designer or a software engineer, all the millions of different commands that go into just logging into a website, it would be mind-blowing. You wouldn't be able to even consciously track it, right? Same thing happens when I point to where I feel it and I reach out and touch it. An incalculable number of processes happen instantaneously, automatically. We don't have to think about it. It just happens. So play pretend, be playful, point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it. You guys with me so far? Okay. So here's my intention. I'm going to go through 6 of the most important things that you need to understand right now to be able to communicate with your subconscious mind and begin the process of reprogramming it. I'm going to go through the package that you guys wanted me to talk about. At the end of that presentation, I'm going to circle back and we're going to use the exact same principles that we just learned to start clearing stuff, making stuff better, and moving and programming our mind for health, wealth, success, happiness, whatever it is you want. Is that fair? Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go to my OneNote here because it's necessary. Let me see if can I do side by side? I don't think this one will let me do side by side. Anyway, I'll just share my screen. You might want to take a screenshot of this. This is called the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. We'll say unconscious because some people don't like the term subconscious. Oops. 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. So write this down, take notes. A, your unconscious mind, your autonomic nervous system always answers first, usually non-verbally. Okay. When I'm doing lie detection or I'm doing connection work or relationship work or I'm doing any kind of body language interpretation, anytime I make a statement or ask a question, I'm not paying attention to what they say. I'm paying attention to what their body does. Okay. Remember that internal thought precedes external behavior. So as I'm watching the face, there was a thought or a set of emotions that your brain accessed and played for you that caused your face to move, that triggered the words to come out of your mouth. You need to be aware of that. When you want to dialogue with the deeper aspect of your nervous system, you must follow these rules or you're going to misinterpret the information that you get. You will not be able to log in effectively and you will not get the same degree of change that you could have gotten. Are you guys with me so far? So the first rule is the subconscious mind, the other than conscious mind, always answers first. The second rule, it always answers honestly. Third rule, it always feels like you're making it up. Fourth rule, you always have an urge to edit what just came up. Fifth rule, it's never loud. Sixth rule, it's never linear. So I'm going to say this 3 times. So you can write them down. I'm going to elaborate a little bit. And then with your permission, I'm going to teach you how to get access to the complete system so that you can start making every transformation you want to make in the shortest amount of time possible. And then we're going to circle back and do some training. Okay. The unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. Unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud and it's never linear. Last time, your other than conscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud and it's never linear. Okay. Hopefully you guys have taken a screenshot or at least written those notes down. I'm going to jump out of screen share for right now. So let's talk about this really, really quickly. A, your unconscious mind sorts for what's familiar. Anytime you experience an external event or have or query the system, your brain drops in, it goes up to every file it knows related to that subject and it spits them all up. It happens before you're consciously aware of anything that you're doing. It will automatically spit up the information it thinks is most relevant to the situation, circumstance, or event that you're currently in. Your conscious mind will see that file come up on the desktop and it will start to build stories around it. Let me say that again. The file comes up from your deep unconscious. Your conscious mind sees it, grabs a hold of it, creates a story around it. And if you follow the conscious mind story, you won't go into the file. You will be everywhere but the file. You guys with me? When we dialogue and we want to create change, we have to log into the deepest level of the system. Okay? We have to go in, not out. Okay? Are you guys with me on that so far? Pardon me. Pardon me. I couldn't hold that in. You guys with me so far? You have to follow these 6 dynamics. Otherwise, you will misinterpret the information that you're getting. Okay? We have to ask good questions. We have to get good answers, but we have to be able to tell what the right information is. And that's one of the big problems that we have when it comes to reprogramming the subconscious mind or working with it in general. We're taught not to trust our subconscious mind. Conscious mind builds a story. Is it true? Yes. Is the story true? Most of the time, it's not. No. In fact, one of the things in clinical work, one of the things we talk about is something called the presenting problem. When someone comes into my clinic or into my Zoom session, they think they know where their problem started. And I pretend to believe them because I need to get through what they believe is true so I can talk to the boss. The boss is your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind knows exactly where the problem started, who was involved, and where we need to go to fix it. I make a joke with my clients. There's only 2 agencies in the universe that truly know where the problem started and where we need to go to fix it. That's God and your other than conscious mind. Now, I don't know where you live, but here in San Diego, we have really nice weather most of the time, a lot of golf courses. God plays a lot of golf, doesn't always take my calls. But your unconscious mind, they're home all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if you ask them properly, it will take you to the exact location you need to go to in the shortest, most direct route possible to get the change you want to change or the change you want to make. Okay? The conscious mind, in the vast majority of situations, takes you in a completely different direction. And even if it's the right direction, it's at the wrong level of your neurology. Think about the different levels of your website, where you can go in and you can change the formatting, but you can also go to another level and change the content. You can go to another level and change the menu structure, right? Each different level of your subconscious mind has a different username and password, has a different way that you get there, right? And so we need to understand those login points and those transition points so we can communicate with the system the way nature designed it to be communicated with. That's all we did at the first part of today's webinar, which is show you what nature put into place centuries ago, millions of years ago. And it's still with us today. Why? Because it works. Nature don't make junk. Okay? This is a natural form of healing that is implicit in the structure and the programming of your own neurology. And if you understand how all the pieces fit, you can turn anything you want into pretty much anything you want from a subjective experience level. And with this, we have shrunk tumors. We've put people in remission. We've had people suffering from neuropathy for 9 years get complete feeling back in their legs in 15 minutes. Okay? This same system that we're playing with subjectively. Now, these are not being made, these are case studies. These are not, I'm not making this up, right? Because at the level of the system that we are interacting with, it's all just data being processed. You guys remember I said that all terminal and chronic illness, 99% of it goes back to repressed memory and emotional feelings. And if you can point to where you feel it, you can log in and you can change it. Like that, in many cases. Why? Because your nervous system built them the same way from the same stuff. Because the system is not stupid. The system is efficient. Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it's not good. Does that make sense? Is that useful? Does it give you hope? I've said this before in other webinars and in other trainings, and I'll say it again. You, my friend, are literally made of magic. You're literally made of magic. It's just that no one's shown you how to unlock it. With your permission, I'd like to show you how to do that. Would that be okay? Okay. Then with your permission, I'd like to share with you a special program that I'm very, very proud to be explaining to you. It's probably the premier personal transformation program on the planet. And it allows you to do everything, if you want, right from the privacy of your own home. So you can use this on yourself. You can use this with clients and patients. You can use this with your loved ones. It's called the Mastering Your Mind Reality Reprogramming and Personal Transformation Home Study Course for Healing, Influence, and Success. Why? Because they're all mediated through the same thing, the autonomic nervous system. Okay. So what is this going to let us do, really? Well, let's start with, it'll show you how to align your mind with prosperity consciousness and attract financial success effortlessly. Why? Because prosperity is a program. Lack of prosperity is also a program, right? And if you understand what's keeping you from doing the things you need to do to become wealthy and successful, you can find where they're stored in the subconscious mind and rewrite that program. You can change it, okay? It's about getting people to say yes to you without resistance using very secret NLP techniques and derivatives of NLP. Some of you don't know this, but in 2020, I was named the #1 NLP trainer in the world by globalgurus.org. I'm probably, as far as I know, in the history of Global Gurus, the only person to ever beat the great Richard Bandler for the #1 spot. I'm very proud of that. I'm also very nervous about it. Of course, Richard's taken every other year since the beginning of time, and he rightly deserves that. But I'm very proud of that one accomplishment. But also our program, Killer Influence and Defense Against the Dark Arts, have been named the #1 NLP training programs in the world since 2020. So I'm very proud of the information, and some of the information that you're going to be learning in this program is derived from those award-winning courses. It's all about transforming your relationships. We're going to teach you how to build very, very deep emotional connections, improve your communication, and learn how to attract the right kind of people. If you're tired of dating the same person with a different face, if you're tired of having the same boss at every company you work for, if you're tired of the same coworkers in every place you go to start a new life, we're going to show you how to talk to your unconscious mind about making changes. Okay? It's about stepping into any room and radiating power, magnetism, and authority on demand. How quickly did your whole state change once you had that color breathing practice down? That is the first of 9 levels of transformation that we can do, that we teach to the general public. Okay? It's a there's a whole lot going on here. If you'd like to break free from fear and procrastination, program your mind to take massive action and achieve your goals faster, this will help you do it. Probably faster than anything else. Hold on a second. Oops. And if you'd like to create lasting change and use the power of your subconscious mind to become the person you were meant to be, you all know that you've woken up every now and then and you look in the mirror and you say, you're supposed to do something with your life. I wish I knew what it was. We'll help you figure that out. And we'll help you get the blocks out of your way and get you on the fast track to becoming that version of yourself. Okay? So here's what I've put together for you. And this offer is good until 11:59 p.m. tonight, August 26th. Now, if a lot of times people try to want to drop off during this part of the training, I'm really going to encourage you to stay till the end. And the reason for that is we have the last part of the webinar where we just whip out the tools and start creating transformations is something that's really worth experiencing. Also, there's usually some little goodies that I give out for people who stay on till the end. So again, if you want the best transformations humanly possible, please stay until the end. Watch the entire webinar, and please, by all means, circle back and watch the replays. Okay. They're there for you to transform your life, to get a sample of what's possible for you. There's a whole lot more where this is coming from. Okay. So here's what we're going to start you with. Master Your Mind training includes a 14-video program that talks about something we call the Identity by Design process. It's a 7-stage process that teaches you how to systematically clear your unconsciously held negative emotions and beliefs, starting with the ones you didn't even know you had. How many of you have ever had an experience where something keeps coming up, keeps going wrong, and you just don't know why? And no matter where you look, no matter how you try, you can't find the cause. That's what stage 1 starts with. Okay. How many of you have ever had the experience of knowing what the problem is, seeking to actively avoid the problem, and it happens again anyway? That's stage 2. When you've got stuff that boomerangs on you, you have the experience, you say, I'm never going to do that again. That's never going to happen to me again. And boom, 6 months later, you're doing it again. We're going to show you how to fix that once and for all. We're going to remove the negativity, the negative voices in your head so that they build you up instead of tearing you down. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, that little voice in your head is the voice that just said what voice, right? We all have a voice in our head, an internal dialogue that tells us all the reasons why we shouldn't do something, that tries to hold us back, that tries to limit us, that tries to keep us the same, right? I'm going to show you once and for all how to find the roots of that voice, rip it out by its roots, and plant a brand new voice that inspires you, motivates you, protects you, and keeps you on the fast track to the best version of yourself. It's like having your own personal coach, mentor, and cheerleader inside your mind. I'm going to teach you how to install the 4 pillars of irresistible personal power and success. What does that actually mean? There are 4 key traits, besides identity and action, that I have found lead to people becoming successful in spite of themselves. Okay? Those 4 pillars are relentlessness, playfulness, curiosity, and victory. When you have those default states in place as your go-to, then you become an unstoppable machine for achievement and transformation. You become an avatar and a role model for people who aspire for greatness. Okay? The most powerful people I have met, the most accomplished people I have met, have had some combination of those 4 traits dominant in their personality. I will show you a specific process for how to build and install that in you as your default driver states. And I'll give you the on and off switch so you can crank it up anytime you want. I'm going to teach you how to remove all of the negativity from your past memories and traumas, take the energy from those experiences, feed them into all of your positive memories so they get bigger and stronger, so that when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better, that inspire you, motivate you, and encourage you to keep going. And we're going to take all of that, the unconscious negativity clearing, the safety rules, the negative voices, the 4 pillars of personal power, the energy from your memories. We're going to take those 5 steps and we're going to install it as a program in your deep unconscious mind so that it's running for you in your genetic memory 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that every experience you have from that moment forward and your past is filtered through that transformation system, so that your neurology is automatically processing every aspect of your life to be the best version of yourself humanly possible, to find the ways to win. After you've done that, we're going to teach you how to take the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you truly admire, people who you truly want to be more like, and install those like a template or a subroutine or an AI in your unconscious mind so that you grow into that person. You can access those abilities in the shortest amount of time possible. That, my friends, is the Identity by Design process. Okay? It is one of the most powerful personal transformation systems on the planet, and the changes are pretty much unstoppable. Okay? We're also going to teach you instant and rapid inductions. We're going to teach you the fastest, most powerful ways to find the root causes of things. We're going to teach you how to spin things, magic frame things. We're going to teach you the entire training times on other webinars and a whole lot more. But that's the beginning. That's the core training, right? Total value on this is $2,497. But we're not just giving you this. We have a lot more. Grab your course today. I know a lot of you were champing on the bit to grab everything. And then again, if you guys want, reach out to Mia personally. She'll give you the link to go ahead and pre-order, because there's some extra bonuses that people who pre-order get. But let me show you what else you're getting and why it's important. This is the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study course. This is a derivative of the Identity by Design silo, geared exclusively to allowing you to program your mind to manifest the things you want and remove the blocks to manifestation. You'll learn how to find and remove blocks to health, wealth, success, and happiness you didn't even know you had. I'll show you how to program your mind to become a money magnet, how to influence people in the room and remotely using the power of your subconscious mind. I'm going to teach you how to find and remove the hidden negativity and blocks that keep bad patterns happening. I'm going to teach you how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. Okay, maybe you've gone to the faith healer, the priest, the chiropractor, the acupuncturist, and this stuff doesn't go away. I'm going to show you where the root cause of that may actually be and show you the most direct route to changing it. Okay, I want to teach you how to delete the negativity and the vibrational imprints from your past, and in some cases, from your parents' past. One of the most powerful discoveries that modern psychology has made, hypnotists and shamans have known about this for centuries, is that we inherit memories from our parents. They inherit memories from their parents, and so on and so on and so on. So if you've got something that keeps coming up that your mom has or your dad has or your grandparents have, chances are that thing didn't start with you. It's an imprint that you inherited. And you just need the right tools to find it and reprogram it. And the best part about that, based on the old lore, is if you fix it in yourself, you fix it 9 generations back and 9 generations forward. So you save your kids from having to deal with it for very long. But my experience with that has been that if I find something in myself that I inherited from my parents and I clear it in myself, my kids will still manifest it, but they'll go through it and get over it like super fast. It's almost like just a review, just to make sure they got the notes. It's very weird how it happens, but and of course, if you do this before your children are born, well, they probably won't manifest it at all, right? Again, it's kind of woo, but we're kind of in that space with this class, right? I want to teach you to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. I just did a 3-day training out in Las Vegas where that's all I did for 3 solid days, was hypnotize people to become the luckiest people on the planet and give them very specific manifestation tools to let them manifest exactly what they wanted as quickly as they could. And that's part of what this training is. You'll discover the image cycling process, which is the most powerful engine of personal transformation and manifestation we've ever discovered, and a whole lot more. So this takes everything you learn in the Master Your Mind core program and shows you how to tweak it and modify it for specific manifestation and law of attraction practices. Okay. The total value on this is $1,497, but we're not done yet. We already talked about this. Grab your courses, and you'll also get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course. Now, the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course teaches you the Identity by Design silo, but from a different perspective. It teaches you how to do this professionally. It teaches you how to integrate these change work systems into your personal private practice. So, for example, how many, if you're a coach, a mentor, a therapist, a healer, a social worker, marriage and family therapist, couples counselor, you can take these techniques and generate powerful transformations in your clients using the extra things that we teach in this course. It's designed for professionals. It's designed for people who actually want to make a living helping other people with this process. The Master Your Mind program, the core program, is designed for self-work. It's designed to teach you how to do these things on yourself, by yourself. This program is about doing this for money. So if you want to add an extra revenue stream or income stream to your business, or you want professional grade training, this is the course. We added this to just make it a full slam dunk that no matter where you go with this, you're going to be able to leverage it and use it to make your life better. Again, it's going to teach you instant and rapid inductions. It's going to teach you how to deal with abreactions from your clients. It's going to teach you how to how to hypnotize people anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason, how to spin people's traumas away, how to color breathe their memories and change their memories, how to remove the safety lessons that are keeping them from re-manifesting negative things. We're going to teach you how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, how to change that voice inside their head to something that inspires and motivates and protects and guides them and moves them towards ultimate success. We're going to teach you how to resolve the negativity from their past and take that energy and move it into their memory so that when they look back in the past, it only makes them want to go forward and do things better. Total value on this is $1,497, but we're going to throw it in as a free bonus. So the total combined value so far is $5,491 if you were to buy them individually, which of course we don't want you to do, right? We're also going to include one of the most powerful influence and persuasion programs on the planet. This is called Stealth CPI, or Real World Conversational Hypnosis. And the reason that we include this program in the package is for several reasons. A, when you take the training in this program, you will become a charisma magnet. You will become a walking hypnosis induction. If you use these patterns, everything you say becomes irresistibly hypnotic. People will automatically want to do what you want them to do, and they'll come up with their own reasons for why they want to do it. When you turn these processes on yourself, you have the power now to create irresistible hypnotic suggestions that your mind has to obey. It's very, very cool. You'll be able to make anything you want seem to cause anything you want in the minds of your listener. You'll be able to make anything you want mean anything you want in the minds of your listener. At the beginning of our webinar, I talked about a term we have in Planet David called functional consciousness. Functional consciousness is directly impacted by the meanings that we assign to things. And once you understand these particular language patterns, you can literally make anything you want mean anything you want in your mind and other people's minds, even if those things have absolutely nothing in common. Okay? And in many cases, it works even when they know you're trying to do it. Okay, there are some patterns in here that are so powerful. If they weren't such a normal, everyday part of speech and impossible not to use, I wouldn't tell people about them because they are that powerful in transforming your subjective reality. Now, why do we give you this? Because we want you to have the tools to influence yourself, but we also want you to have tools for communicating the person you've become more effectively out in the real world. If you understand this process, the Stealth CPI process, the Universal Persuasion Protocol, you'll be able to hypnotize anyone, anytime, anywhere during normal conversations. Everything you say will become irresistibly charismatic. People will fall and hang on your every words, and they will voluntarily, willingly, eagerly want to do the things you want them to do. Okay? It's super, super powerful. But the first person to use it on is you. The other reason we included this in your package is because it teaches you something that's only taught in our Killer Influence training program. The ability to enter or exit any psycho-emotional state on will, on demand, under any situation or circumstance, and how to train your mind and body in such a way that nobody can push your emotional buttons against your will ever again. Once you go through the basic state control training that is taught in this program, you gain complete mastery over your emotional systems. If you do the training, if you don't do the training, nothing will happen. But if you take the training that we give you and you apply it, your ability to manage any emotional input or suggestion or direction or command or insult from the outside world, you're practically bulletproof. And even if you get taken by surprise, you'll be able to recover in seconds and get back to your best game in the shortest amount of time possible. So if you've ever had to deal with shyness, not knowing what to say, feeling insecure, feeling less than, not being able to control the frame, getting gaslit, lied to, bullied, the state control training in this program alone is worth 10 times the price. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, because that one thing is the one thing you won't see us talk about or teach outside of the courses or live events. You won't see it on YouTube. Okay. It's our secret sauce. It's what makes our words and our behaviors and all the other techniques that we leverage unstoppable. And it's impossible to get caught. I'm really proud of this program. I really, really am. And I know that if you take this training and you apply the state control work, everything you do from your unconscious through your unconscious mind will get 10x. It's just synergistic that way. It's a $1,950 value. We're going to give this to you for free. Why? Because we want you to have it. We want you to succeed. Total combined value on this is $7,441. So let's look at, and the last piece that we're gonna throw out here for you is what we call renegade reframing. And this is the ability to change any belief and overcome any objection in just minutes. Let's play the imagination game for a minute. Imagine for a moment that you had 14 different ways to overcome anyone's objection to what you want them to do. You're moving through the world. You want somebody to do something. You ask them to do it, and they tell you no because blank. What if you had 14 different ways to transform that no into a yes and make people actually want to do what you're asking them to do? Right? What if somebody is gaslighting you or picking on you, and you had 14 different techniques that you could just blast them with and just knock them out of the game to win any argument or overcome any objection? What if you took every single limiting belief that you can think of, wrote them down on a piece of paper, and hit them with these 14 patterns? What do you think would happen to your brain? What do you think would happen to your limiting beliefs? I know what would happen because we've done it in training. You write down all your limiting beliefs, you learn these patterns, you throw the limiting belief at the pattern, and you will watch that belief change. And it'll change in such a way that you can't get it back. Okay? These 14 patterns are derived from a lesser known NLP system called sleight of mouth, which is all about conversational belief change. Right? Why did we put this in here? Well, think about it for a moment. Who's the first person's beliefs we need to change? Ours, right? So we use this on ourselves first, but in the process of learning how to use this on ourselves, we now have a tool that when we're out in the real world, working with clients, doing sales, getting into, doing negotiations or mediations or argumentations, we now have 14 bullets for our persuasion handgun that we can just leverage and use in any order and sequence to change any belief and get more yeses in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay. I put a lot of thought into this packaging for you guys because I wanted to cover as many bases as I could in a systematic way. This is also $1,950 value, but we're going to give it to you free if you grab your basic package. $9,391 total value, right? And this is what we got for you. You got the 14 video Master Your Mind Home Study course. You've got the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind Magic, and Manifestation Masterclass. You've got the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Home Study course. You've got the Stealth CPI Real World Conversational Hypnosis and Universal Persuasion Protocols. You've got Renegade Reframing, how to overcome any objection and change any belief instantly. Okay, that's the whole package that we're offering today. The total value on this, if you were to buy them individually, and some of them I don't think you even can, is $9,391. But like I said, I want you to win. So we're not going to make you pay $93.91. We're not going to pay $53.47. We're not going to even pay $33.47. Would it be okay at $14.97 if I took $1,000 off the regular price? Would that be a good deal? It's a good deal at half the price. All right. But we're not even going to do that. For those of you who really are ready to step up, if you answered 7 or higher on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want to change? You can get everything for one low installment of just $797. And if you need a little extra help, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $333. Okay. All you need to do to get yours is go to www.nlppower.com/mind. www.nlppower.com/mind. Just click your link, grab your package, and I will see you on the other side of that. Okay. And I'll take questions once we're done. So just check for the link in your chat. Go ahead and click that. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, David, what if it doesn't work? Here's my challenge. Prove to me and prove to you it does not work. Click your link, get the courses, go through the training. If after 60 days or 59 days, you're not on the fast track to more money, more love, to removing the limiting beliefs and blocks to your success, if you're not overcoming self-sabotage, if you're not getting rid of those traumas that have been holding you back once and for all, if you're not 1,000% satisfied with the changes you're creating, pick up the phone, send us an email, call us. If you have sticking points, let us help you through them. If we're still not making any traction, I will refund every single dime you invested in this program. You have absolutely nothing to risk except the old version of yourself, which I'm assuming you want to get rid of anyway, right? So 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied, we'll refund you. And you can even keep the courses you've downloaded as my way of saying thank you for trying it out. Okay? So all you need to do to get yours is click that link right here, www.nlppower.com/mind. And of course, if you have any questions, Moss and Mia, I think Brandon's floating around somewhere too, they're waiting in the wings to help you, right? You can reach Moss at 858-282-4663. You can reach out to Mia at nlppower.com. All I'll ask is that if you do call Moss, you make sure if you get the voicemail, which happens a lot of times when we reach this portion, that you actually leave your contact information so you qualify for bonuses. If you don't leave your contact information, you won't qualify for any extra bonuses. So this is good until August 26th. That's tonight, 11:59 p.m. And if you click that link now, if you've already clicked that link, good news for you. You also get these fast action bonuses. First one is a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. It's a 3-month hands-on guided group process where you come in on the 3rd Saturday of every month. I ask you what you want to learn about, what your sticking points are. I write them on the screen. We create a lesson plan for you and the rest of the group on the spot, and we drill you on those techniques until you can do them in your sleep. We send you off into the world to practice that again. We've been running this program, and no lie, we've been running this program for 14 years. We started this program in October of 2010. This October will be our 15th year. And we've videotaped every single one of those trainings, and we've archived them on our Kajabi site, on our NLP Power website, on the members only section of our YouTube channel, and in our private members only Facebook page. And you, during your trial membership, can have unlimited access for the full 90 days of your trial membership to every single video we've ever recorded on everything from psychic development to manifestation, to trauma resolution, dating and attraction, accelerated learning, trauma resolution, regression, NLP, persuasion, influence. If it's in my wheelhouse, face reading, body language, presentation skills, right? If it's in my wheelhouse, I've probably taught it multiple times to multiple energy work, all kinds of energy work, especially the last couple of years have been just filled with various energetic practices and how they relate to everything else we've talked about tonight. So you won't get a certificate from the NLP Power Mentoring Program. What you will get is something much more valuable. You'll actually get the ability to use the skills you paid good money to learn. And that, my friends, is worth 10 times its weight in gold. It's not the certificate on your wall that matters. It's the skill set that you're supposed to embody that certificate represents. And that's what this program is about. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to include this as part of your fast action bonus if you click that link right now. Right? If you click this link before I log off the webinar, you will automatically qualify for this. We will add you to the group, and you can start next month, or when, I don't even know when our next mastermind is. I think it's next month. You'll be able to do that for 3 months. Okay. Total value on this is $10,988, but there's more. You're also going to get the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course. Now, some of you really like the idea of being able to move through the world and hypnotize people anytime, anywhere, during normal conversations, or even overtly if you want. And that's what this program is designed to do. This program is designed for people who want to download a course tonight and hypnotize people tonight. It's basically 2 language pattern videos, which are about 2 hours, which will teach you the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns that exist. There's a full video on instant and rapid inductions, so that you can just walk out your door and start dropping people into hypnotic trances right on the street if you want. I wouldn't do that because if you do a hypnotic induction on somebody without permission, it's called assault. So make sure you get permission before you use instant and rapid inductions on people. But the content is in the training, and it's designed as a fast start course. It comes with workbooks. It comes with transcripts. It comes with downloadable MP3 audios that you can listen to. Well, I don't necessarily listen to them. They get a little hypnotic. You might want to be careful. There's, I think there's one video in there on lie detection. So you get some body language training right off the bat. And I believe there's also some videos in there on anchoring and emotional bonding. So it's a really fleshed out package. There's also 5 videos in there of me teaching language patterns in somebody's home. It's kind of an archival video. I'm a little fluffy in that video, but big package designed to give you the fastest start possible. It's a $997 value. We're going to give this to you 100% free. Total combined value now is $11,985. And finally, for those of you who really, really, really like training, we've put together a special event bonus ticket system for you. Be one of the next 33 people to click that link right now, and you will automatically qualify for one of our single 3-day virtual events. We have 5 virtual events here. You get to pick any one of them as your free bonus training. These are all online, so you don't have to travel. You can do it in your underwear from the comfort of your own home. First one coming up is called Mind Control Warfare. This is a variation. This is a crash course distilled from our Defense Against the Dark Arts 5-day certification. And it teaches the most hardcore aspects of how to profile people, how to manipulation proof yourself, and how to turn the tables on the bad guys of the world. If you're tired of being gaslit, bullied, lied to, manipulated in any way, shape, or form, right? This is the course you want to take. For those of you who have a deeper degree to become more charismatic and influential, I invite you to come into our next Neurohypnotic Influence crash course. This is a variation of your Stealth CPI home study course with some updated materials, some streamlined course content and applications. So this is designed as kind of a sample platter of all of the Universal Persuasion Protocol, as well as some of the most powerful hypnotic language patterns, reframe patterns, and advanced language patterning skills and pattern weaving skills that exist. And once again, it's designed to take you from 0 to hero. That's scheduled for October 4th through the 6th. Again, it's completely virtual. For those of you who've got traumas, injuries, illnesses that you would like to help resolving, coming up October 24th through the 26th is our next online virtual healing intensive. Remember when I talked about the person who's neuropathy, had neuropathy for 9 years and it went completely away? It happened during one of these virtual healing intensives. And this is me and a small group of people guiding you through healing practice after healing technique after healing technique for 3 solid days. This is not a certification course. It's a transformation course. It's designed, you come in one way, you leave completely different with a few tools to keep your changes going, but you're not expected to go out and open up a shop or do anything like that. This is purely for people who need my help to get their life on track. And this is the most economical and affordable way possible. It's a $2,497 value, but you can get in for free if you use one of these bonus tickets. Coming up in November, we have our Face Reading Mastery Crash Course, and this is a face reading program specifically for business and relationship applications. This is not going to qualify you to be a professional face reader, but if you are a manager, an entrepreneur, a hirer, or someone who does hiring and firing, this will give you the exact face reading skills that you need to know who's a good fit for what job, who's a good fit for relationships, both temperament and romantically and sexually. And if you want to go deeper, you can look at their face and learn to see what's going on with their health. It's a really cool, fun program, and it has infinite applications in business, lifestyle, relationships, and of course, as a therapist, you learn to peek below the surface. For those of you who've ever had the idea that there's something you're supposed to do in this life, and if you could just figure out what it was, life would be better. That's our next training for face readers. It's called Secrets of the Golden Path. And this is based on the idea of your face and your history give you clues as to what you came here to do and how to put those things together to create an ideal life path for yourself. The life path that brings you the greatest amount of enjoyment, fulfillment, spiritual, physical, monetary growth and evolution, and allows you to leave a legacy behind you and fast track your success. This has very limited seats, and this will never be done as a product. This will only be a program that you can attend and participate in, but we'll never release the content as a product because it's very personal stuff. So if you want my help helping you get on your life on track, and this is a great thing to combine with the virtual healing intensive, by the way, because it allows you to take the Identity by Design tools, combine it with what you learn about yourself through your face reading Golden Path processes, and really map out your good life, your best life, right? And remember, Golden Path is not about, it's not about the perfect job. It's about a life direction that could accommodate any number of jobs, but it's the life path that leads you to the greatest sense of fulfillment, spiritual and physical growth. And many times people get healthier and more happy, and they become very, very successful very, very quickly once they've found out what that golden path for them truly is. Okay, so you can choose any one of these, right? The VIP ticket does not expire. So if you know you want to come to something and you miss it, just let us know. We'll move you to another event. If you want to gift this ticket to somebody else, well, just let us know. We'll do that for you, right? You can choose any one of these. It's a $2,494 value or $97 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free because we want you in class. We want you with us in real time. We want you to move out into the world, being a force for good, an agent of change, and getting everything you want by helping other people get what they want, right? The Tao Te Ching says, if you want to change the world, change yourself. And I have never found a statement to be more true than that one. If you want to change your life from the inside out, right? Everyone around you will magically transform or simply leave and make room for better people when you change you. Total combined value on this is $14,482. You can get yours for just $797. So again, this is what we got for you. Mastering Your Mind Home Study Course. It's the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course. It's a $2,497 value. You get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Certification. You get Hidden Laws of Attraction. You get Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, Renegade Reframing, and of course your fast action bonuses that go away when I log off the webinar. An NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring 3-month trial membership, the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, and our virtual intensive super packet. I think we're down to 15 slots now. Anyway, total value on this is $797 or 3 easy installments of just $333. So all you need to do is click your link right there in the chats. Go to www.nlppower.com/mind. Click your links now before it's too late, before all the slots are gone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go ahead. I'm going to give you an 8-minute break to go ahead and do that. I'll probably come back a little bit early and field some questions. And when we come back from the little mini break. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take the principles that we learned in the beginning of our webinar, part one of our webinar. We're going to start applying those to removing blocks to your success, overcoming limiting beliefs, putting a dead stop halt to procrastination. And if you want, we'll maybe show you how to use that stuff to program your future. But if you want, and everything I'm showing you are pieces that we've pulled, we've cherry picked them from this program that you're seeing in front of you, the Secrets of Personality Transformation and Mastering Your Mind Home Study Program. So if you want access to the full and complete system and me, go ahead and click that link right now. Let's come back at 6:03, and we'll pick up with part 3. And again, if you have questions, please post them in the chat. I love questions, and just rock and roll. I'm seeing in the queue that David says the link doesn't work. Can we maybe give him a phone number or something? All right. We've got a couple minutes left, and if you guys have questions, okay. If you guys have questions about anything, Prasad is saying, what, $7.97? No way. Yes. Yes, Way. I'm in a good mood this week. So go ahead. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. I'm happy to answer questions about the programs or things related to the content of tonight's webinar in terms of transformation or reprogramming your subconscious mind. If you learn nothing else, by the way, but what we did in the very first part of the webinar, you've already got the Rosetta Stone for most rapid transformations that you could want in your life. All right. Anybody have questions? I can take a couple. I love questions, by the way. It's just sometimes the questions send us down rabbit holes that aren't relevant to the content of tonight's webinar. Julie says, I don't think so. I'm thinking. You know what? I do apologize. I am a very fast thinker, and it comes out in the languaging that I use. So sometimes I get so excited about this material, I just think everybody can keep up. But I've been told that I need to slow down by my drama teachers and everything else. So I apologize. But if I did go too fast on something, by all means, ask me again. I'm happy to help. All right. So since we're coming into part 3 of tonight's webinar, what would you as a group like to focus on? What do you want to do? This is your chance, guys. Open floor. Yeah, I can always fix that. I'll just do this. Oops. Looks like the screen is above me. So Nathan says how to silence the voices. Nathan, how many voices do you have? I guess I would like to deprogram the red trigger that MK Ultra used on me, and yes, the voice that tries to play God. Let's do an example of talking with the subconscious. Mother, father, brother, 90%. Ah, okay. Okay. Anything else? Get rid of unwanted patterns out of the zombie state. So many ways I could do this. So Tercia says, address, remove negative issues when the DX. Okay. How many of you noticed when we did the pleasure exercise that there was a pleasure feeling, but in the background, there was like this icky, naggy feeling that you were trying to ignore? Anybody? Prasad, share more about the virtual intensive. Okay. Well, the virtual intensive, a 3-day healing intensive, that's where y'all log in for 3 days. And I take you through healing process after healing process after healing process, as if it was just me and you in the chair in the treatment room. And okay, icky feelings. Okay. You saw a different color besides the pleasure color? Okay. Okay. I see where we're going. Let's start off with something cool. All right. How many of you are in a place where you're not driving or you're not operating any kind of heavy equipment? Okay. I see one question from Hatem. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you guys another technique. I'm going to give you guys another technique. This one's going to be a little bit longer. Okay. So this technique is in your core home study course. It's taught in the Identity by Design course again, and it's utilized for some of the most powerful transformations that we do. Okay. All that requires you to do is to just follow along, right? So there's three things that go into this, and I'm going to go through this process is a little long, so I don't know if I'll have time for. Well, let me ask you guys. I can do one long process, or I can do three short ones. Which would you prefer? This is your webinar. I can go either way. Long? Okay. Then what I need you guys to do, I need you to sit comfortably. Make sure you won't be disturbed. Make sure that, well, we have a very broad spectrum of stuff, so this is going to help you with all of it, right? This is actually 3 or 4 processes in one, but you won't know what's what, so it doesn't matter. How many of you would like to go through a process with me? Show of hands in the chat. Okay. Cool. Close your eyes. Put your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Mia, you have your hand raised. Does that mean you want to get tranced out, or do you have a question or something you need to say? Okay, good, good, good. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and let that breath out with a sigh. Deeper and deeper with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, my friends. All I want you to do is relax. Let go. Listen to the sound of my voice. Any sounds that you hear other than the sounds of my voice are simply the sounds of our natural environment or yours. They're not going to disturb you. They're not going to distract you in any way. In fact, all they're going to do is signal you, remind you, reinforce inside your mind, body, and soul the fact that you're completely safe. That no matter how far inside you travel, no matter how deep inside you go, you will always, always, always be able to hear my words, follow my instructions, and obey my commands. Because you realize that everything I say and everything I do is for you, to give you the life and the lifestyle that you want, the way that you want it, by your standards and your definitions. Now, in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to focus all of your attention on the lids of your eyes. And I'd like you to begin to relax those tiny muscles in your eyelids, and I want you to keep relaxing them. Relax them more and more and more until they're so relaxed. They just don't want to work anymore. And when you're satisfied and you're convinced they're so relaxed, they just don't want to work anymore, all I want you to do is give them a quick test just to be sure. And when you're satisfied, stop testing. Let that level of relaxation flow from the top of your head all the way down, down, down to the tips of your toes, deeper and deeper with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. You can just let go. You just let go. Now, in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to begin to relax your mind just as deeply as we've been relaxing your body. We're going to do that in a very, very special way. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to begin to imagine the alphabet backwards, starting with the letter Z. With each and every breath you take, each and every beat of your heart, starting with the letter Z, all I want you to do is relax those letters completely out of your mind. Allow them, if you will, to become smaller and darker and harder to see. Turn the volume all the way down, 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 deeper and deeper, down, down, down. Now, obviously, I can't do this for you. Only you have that power. Only you have that ability. Only you can allow this to happen. And when you know they're gone, and you're as deeply relaxed in your mind as you are in your body, all I want you to do is allow your head to nod with honest, unconscious movements to let me know. And we'll continue with the next part of our process. Drifting, dreaming, floating, smaller and darker, harder to see. Turning the volume all the way down, 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 deeper and deeper, down, down, down. Now, in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to use that amazing imagination of yours that I know that you have. I want you to play pretend for me, if you will. I'm wondering, you see, whenever I guide people through these processes, I'm always, always, always very, very curious about how they do it, about what it might be like inside your mind, body, and soul as you go through this. So I'm wondering if you might be able to imagine something for me. I'm wondering if you might be able to imagine a place, a wonderful place, a magical place, an amazing place, a place that is so loving, so approving, so nurturing, mind, body, heart, soul, so nourishing in all the ways that your heart and mind and body most want, need, and desire to be nourished. A place that is so loving, transformation, accepting, forgiving, protective. A place that is so absolutely positive that no negativity of any kind could exist here for even a fraction of a second without being immediately vaporized or turned into its opposite. I'm curious, I'm wondering if you might be able to imagine what a place like that might be like. I mean, what might you see in an amazing, wonderful place like that? What might you hear? What might you be smelling? What might you be tasting? Because when you do that, when you're in that place and you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get. A feeling that lets you know you're truly safe. And I'd like you to notice, I'd like you to recognize that there's a place in your body where those wonderful, safe feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel that, and point to it. And as you do, I'd like you to notice that there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. I'm curious, I'm wondering what color or colors that might be for you. First impression. And whatever it is, imagine a brilliant ball of those colors floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That amazing ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of safety. A cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all threats, all negativities, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs, in an infinite, ever expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, breathe those amazing colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. And when you realize it's true, test it. Try to turn it off. Try to take it away. And notice what happens instead. Take all the time you need to let that energy flow into every nook and cranny of your body. Let it seek out every place in your mind, every place in your body, every place in your spirit where you're holding on to any limiting belief, process, or story. Let it flow into those areas like hot water flowing over an ice cube. And notice how those areas begin to melt and dissolve away. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from your body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from your mind for all the right reasons. Your reasons. Take all the time you need to let that process take place. And when you know you're done, you could just nod your head to let me know. And we'll continue with the next part of our process. Now, because we're doing this together as a group, some of you are right with me in real time. Some of you take a little bit longer to catch up, and that's okay. Some of you know this process and are racing ahead because they know what comes next. However your mind, body, and soul do it is perfectly okay. Trust your unconscious. The unconscious always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud, and it's never linear. Take all the time you need to let this all-powerful, safe energy flow through you and melt all that stuff. The things you consciously remember, the things you consciously understand. And maybe even most importantly, the things you unconsciously remember, the things you unconsciously understand, the secret memories, daydreams, programs, beliefs that are installed in you without your conscious knowledge, without your conscious consent. Like a magnet is drawn to metal, like water soaking into a dry sponge, this all-powerful, safe energy, this universal solvent of divine power, flows into every nook and cranny of your mind, body, and soul. It seeks out any place in your mind, any place in your body, any place in your spirit where you're holding on to any limiting programming in any way, shape, or form. It flows into those areas like hot water flowing over an ice cube. You can notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as all those areas begin to melt and dissolve away. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. Your reasons. And flowing into those spaces. Flowing into those spaces carried by that all-powerful, safe energy. Flows everything you most need and want and desire instead. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place, fully and completely, whole and total. While I continue to talk, that process could continue to flow. In a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to use that amazing imagination again. And I'd like you to imagine that you and I are standing together in front of a door, a beautiful door, a wonderful door, a welcoming door. If you could design the most beautiful door in the world, this would be it. It has everything that lets you know you're large and in charge. It has everything that lets you know this is your special place. And enveloped in your all-powerful, safe energy, you realize now that you are the god or goddess of your reality. You are the king or queen of your universe. And you have every right, privilege, and authority to make any change that you want for any reason that you want. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, I want you and I to go arm in arm, hand in hand. We're going to walk through that door. I want you to go ahead and reach out with your dominant hand, turn that knob if there's a knob, and go ahead and open that door. And let's walk inside into this really cool place. And as we walk inside, we find ourselves in a really cool place, a really interesting place. For some of you, it might even be a familiar place. It's a dome-shaped room with pearly gray walls, kind of like being inside of a large gray egg. In the center of the room, you can notice a beautiful circular fireplace with a beautiful roaring fire that radiates an irresistible love and passion and power and nourishment, a kind of nourishment that washes over you, and you can feel the cells of your body drinking in that energy like a thirsty man gulping down water. It just drinks in all of that energy, all of that power, all of that vitality. You can feel the cells of your body opening like the blossoms of a flower bloom to drink in the life-giving rays of the sun. So take a moment and just absorb that amazing energy. Many of my students and many of my clients often feel themselves getting physically stronger, physically larger, more robust, more healthy, more empowered and confident, more strong and unstoppable as that energy is absorbed by the most important parts of them. And as you allow that body and that part of you to absorb that power, you can look around the room and you can notice something really interesting. You can notice that on the walls what appear to be colored squares. Now, some people's colored squares are like Post-it notes that they can rip off. Some people's colored squares are like postcards that they can, or tiles. Some people's colored squares aren't even squares. They're some other shape. But no matter what form and color the objects on the wall take, you instinctively recognize a truth. And that one set of those colored objects represent all the good things about you, all the amazing things about you, all the things that make you feel strong, confident, worthy, deserving, unstoppable, things you consciously remember, things you consciously understand, and most importantly, the things you unconsciously remember, the things you unconsciously understand, the secret skills, attributes, trainings, values, ethics, principles that come into operation when you absolutely have to win, when you absolutely need to succeed. These are the forces that allow you to prevail, to overcome, to be successful by your standards and definitions every time. They're represented by those colored squares on that wall. Now, those other squares, well, you instinctively understand that they represent all that other stuff, all the things that hold you back, all the things that limit you in any way, shape, or form, things you consciously remember, things you consciously understand, but even more importantly, the things you unconsciously remember, the things you unconsciously understand, the secret memories, daydreams, beliefs, stories that hold you back, that limit you, that cause you to sometimes say things you don't want to say or do things you don't want to do. Or, as is sometimes the case, to not do the things you know you need to say or do. They're represented by those other colored squares. And there's another truth that you can become aware of as you move around this room, and that is this, that if the objects are on that wall, they have been vetted, they have been approved, they have been okayed to be removed or transformed in some way. You have complete and total permission to make any change to anything you want for any reason that you want. And we're going to begin that process now. In a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to walk over to one of those colored squares that represents a less than positive belief or memory or experience. I want you to reach out and I want you to touch it. As you reach out and touch it with your dominant hand, I'd like you to notice that there's a place in your body where the feelings connected to that colored square are stored, where they grow, where they spread from, Take a moment, notice where you feel it, and point to it with your other hand. And when you're finally ready to be free, to get rid of it, to take control of your life back, to take charge of your life, I want you to walk over to that colored square that you just touched, rip it off the wall, crumple it up in your hands. And as you crumple it up in your hands, feel all influence, all connection, all control over your life, mind, body, and soul breaking up, dissolving, burning away, impossible to come back. Keep crumbling it, keep breaking it up, break all those connections, impossible to come back until you know it's completely done. When you know it's completely done and impossible to come back, I want you to take that thing you crumpled up. I want you to walk over to that fire, and I want you to throw it in there. As soon as you throw that object in the fire, whoosh, the flame doubles in size and strength, doubles in force and magnitude. Feel the energy radiating, radiating, radiating from that fireplace, moving into that space where that old stuff used to be, filling it, filling it, filling it with everything you most need and want and desire instead. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to fully and completely reform and reset itself to exactly what you want instead. And when you know it's done, impossible to go back to the old way, I want you to test it. Try to go back. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off. And notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, and only when you're satisfied, I want you to go ahead and stop testing. Notice how different you feel. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, I want you to walk over to another one of those squares that represents something that's been cleared for removal. I want you to reach out and touch it with your dominant hand. Notice where you feel it in your body and point to it with your other hand. And when you know you're ready to get rid of it, it's time. I want you to rip that sucker right off the wall, crumple it up in your hand, feel it lose all connection, all control, all influence over your life, mind, body, and soul forever, impossible to come back. And when you're ready to be free, whole, and total, walk over to that fire and boom, in the fire it goes. Feel the fire double in size and strength, double in force and magnitude. Feel the energy washing over and around you and through you, burning away any stress, any strain, any less than positive belief or memory experience, flowing into that space where that old memory used to be and giving you everything you most need and want and desire instead. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to go back to that old way of being and notice what happens instead. And when you're satisfied, only when you're satisfied, I want you to stop testing. On testing, last time, I want you to walk over to that wall, to the next colored square that needs to go. I want you to reach out and touch the next square that needs to go. Notice where you feel it and point to it. And when you're finally ready to take charge of your life, to take your life back, to reclaim that energy, rip it off the wall, crumple it in your hands. Feel it lose all power, all influence, all control, all relevance in your life for now and forever, impossible to come back. Walk over to that fire pit, throw it in that fire, and boom, feel the flames double in size and strength, double in force and magnitude. Feel the energy walking over, around, and through you, cleansing, purging, purifying, flowing into that space, dissolving all those connections, and replacing it, replacing it, replacing it with everything you most need and want and desire instead. Take all the time you need in the next few seconds to let that process complete itself. Fully and completely, whole and total. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to go back to the old way of being. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off. And notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, you can stop testing, scan your body, and notice how different you feel. Now, the process in this room is very, very simple. In a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to go through every nook and cranny in this room. I want you to find every single square, every single colored object that needs transformation in any way, shape, or form. I want you to reach out and touch it. Notice where you feel it. Rip it off the wall, crumple it up, and throw it in that fire. Feel the rush, feel the release in any way that's appropriate, any way that's natural and normal for you. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Take all the time you need in those 2 minutes to fully and completely rip that stuff off the wall, throw them in the fire, and feel the energy being repurposed, revitalizing you. Feel all those things losing all control over your life for now and forever. And you can do this any way you want. You can begin now to rip that stuff off the walls, reach out and touch it, point to where you feel it, rip it off, throw it in the fire. You can continue to rip that stuff off while I continue to talk. You can do this any way that you want. I had bunches of clients do it in very creative ways. I had one lady. She came in, she had so much stuff, she brought in a leaf blower, blew all that stuff off the walls, went right in the fire. Another one of my colleagues, he was a Harry Potter fan. He brought in his Harry Potter magic wand, made all that crap dance into the fire for him. Another one of my clients was a female entrepreneur with a good business. She brought in all her personal assistants to come in and rip the stuff off the walls for her. They would rip them off the wall. They'd bring over her. She'd sign off. They'd throw them in the fire for her. One guy had so much stuff, he didn't even bother trying to take it off the walls. He just brought in a flamethrower, burned it all off. What I'm really trying to say is this is your room. This is your stuff. And in this place, you have every right, privilege, and authority to make any change that you want, for any reason that you want, by any means that you want. So take all the time you need in the next 2 minutes to fully and completely feel complete. And we'll continue with the next part of our process. Guys, doing great. Keep going. Get your body engaged. Reach out, touch it, throw it in the fire. I see you. In a moment. Not yet, but in just a moment. Once you go ahead and finish up, take the time to feel complete in this process, realizing that anytime you want to, anytime you need to, you can come back to this place to make more changes, to create new things, to reprogram your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind in many, many ways. This is only the first of many. Because when you have the power and the system to make those changes, you can and you will make any change you want for any reason that you want with full permission, full authority to make your life exactly what you want it to be now and in the future. When the last colored square goes into the flames, something wonderful begins to happen. All of the remaining squares on that wall, the ones that represent the very best aspects of you, they begin to glow with an inner fire, an inner radiance, an irresistible, energizing force that emanates from each square and then the squares themselves begin to grow. They begin to expand. They begin to blend together, coating the entire room like one infinitely powerful, glowing wallpaper, beaming all of that energy into you. There's nothing for you to do here but just accept and absorb the energy. Feel your whole mind, body, soul, and spirit transforming from the inside and out, becoming more confident, worthy, deserving, empowered, seeing the world through the eyes of confidence, safety, comfort, joy, pleasure, victory, curiosity, playfulness, pleasure. Allow yourself to simply absorb that energy until you actually ignite like a sun, becoming the very source, the embodiment of that all-powerful energy. And when you know you've got it, it's locked in. Impossible to go back to the old way of being. Test it. Try to turn this power off. Try to take it away. Try to imagine somebody outside of you trying to take this away. And notice what happens instead. And when you're satisfied, only when you're satisfied, you can stop testing. As you and I stand together in that room, looking at the transformed you, we can go back out the door from which we came very, very differently now, realizing that anytime you want, anytime you need, you can come back here and become something even better. In a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach the number 5, you can emerge from this process, bringing all of these changes, transformations, and revelations with you. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. One phase of your transformation complete. The next phase, the best phase, just beginning. Ready to spread your wings, take to the air, to soar amongst the clouds, to experience life, the universe, and everything in it from a much higher place, a more enlightened perspective. Number 1, feel yourself returning to this place we call reality, bringing with you step 1 of 7 in your transformation journey. Number 2, all of my suggestions from me to you, from you to your own other than conscious mind, are now 10 times more powerful, 100 times more permanent, 1,000 times more thrilling, fulfilling, and satisfying than ever before. Embraced, held, locked into that part of your mind, body, and soul that most wants, desires, can perceive, believe, manifest, and achieve these changes in all the ways that give you the life that you want, the way that you want it, by your standards and your definitions. Number 3, because there's always at least 3 ways to overcome any situation, obstacle, or circumstance that you may face. There's always at least 3 solutions to any problem you need to solve in your all-powerful other than conscious mind. without easily, effortlessly, and automatically generate those solutions and implement them in the quickest, easiest, most effective way for the good of yourself and all concerned. Number 4, because it's all for you, my friend. You've made the journey. You've made the investment. You're following the instructions. You've obeyed the commands. You've tested the results. You've most certainly earned the rewards and the right to keep them. It's your reality. It's your truth. It's your life. You're going to live it to the fullest starting now. You got the tools. It's time to go for it. On the next count, you can emerge from this process. Head clear, mind clear, soul clear, thinking, feeling, acting with self-assurance, feeling good all over, glad to be alive and ready to thrive. Number 5, take your time. Come on back. Notice how good you feel. When you know you're back, only when you know you're back, you can just type back in the chat. You're welcome, my friend. That's phase 1 of the 7-stage identity by design process. That's the first one. Imagine what the other 6 will do. Okay. So just, again, to share. For those of you who were maybe on the fence, this is your chance to get everything. You get the 7-stage identity by design silo, Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course. You get the Identity by Design hypnotherapy home study program, so you can monetize this. You get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery home study course, the Stealth CPI conversational hypnosis program. You get Renegade Reframing Conversational Belief Change, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, and the Virtual Intensive Super Ticket valued at $2,497. The total value on this package, guys, is $14,482. You get it all for a low tuition of $797. There has never been a more cost-effective, easy way to get all of this transformation at your fingertips. They last as long as you do, right? For those of you who are ready, who want my help, who want to take this even further, you know who you are. Click that link right now and join us on the other side. If you have questions, give Moss a call at 858-282-4663. If these on voicemail, please leave your contact information so you don't lose out on the fast action bonuses and stuff like that. Okay? So click those links. I'm going to go ahead and take questions if anybody has any. Okay. How long is what session, David? If you're talking about one-on-one sessions, you can reach out to Moss. He'll give you all the personal coaching stuff. We do see, if you guys want to work with me personally, if this is kind of maybe giving you the idea of working with me directly, we do offer one-on-one sessions. You can reach out to Moss and he'll give you the information on that. You guys know who you are, and I'm happy to help in any way that is appropriate, right? So when would now be a good time to click the link and ask me questions? You can go. Any of our folks out in YouTube land have a question? Some of you guys are still processing that, huh? That particular technique, by the way, is called the gray room. And it falls into a category of technique we call general negativity clearing. The best part about the gray room technique is that you don't even need to know what the hell's on the wall, although many times you do. in order for you to get rid of. It's what we call a blind technique. Because again, there's a myth that we have to know exactly everything about what caused our problem in order for us to clear it. And that's really not the case when it comes to transformation. Richard Cooper says, I love the gray room. And the gray room loves you, Richard. Prasad says, this was phenomenal. Well, thank you, Prasad. Just the beginning. Jagdeep says, can plus and minus both have? Absolutely. But did you notice that even though they had the same colors, you knew exactly which one was which? That's exactly right. Your unconscious mind knows way more than the rest of us do. My unconscious mind knows way more than my conscious mind does. That's why I've learned to trust it and train it and work with it. You all can do the same thing. If you have even an unconscious mind that's 10% better trained than it currently is, you will appear superhuman to most people. I'm not kidding. There's nothing special about me, except I've done a lot of training. There's nothing I do that you guys can't do. Although Scott Sandlin would argue with you about that, but most of you don't even know who he is, so I guess it doesn't really matter. All right? What other questions do you have? How can I help today? Oh, he and I got into he was doing a podcast with me 4 or 5 months ago, and I made the comment that I'm not special. And he goes, I beg to differ. I think you're very special. I've known you for 20 some years and you've always been different. So I think but not in the sense that like I have any superpowers. It's just I had some very clear directives that I wanted to fulfill early in life. And I found the techniques for doing that. And then I just used those techniques to get better at other techniques. Right. And that's one of the things that we really focus on in the Snyderverse here is just teaching you how to take what you learn and use it to get better at what you're learning. And so you just get this exponential growth in a very, very short amount of time. Right. But only if you're part of the planet. So you gotta kind of jump in. So Julie says it's connected to the divine. The divine knows all, sees all. All right. Anything else you guys want to work on today? Or you guys, I was concerned about doing the gray room because I thought it might put you guys all in this profoundly altered state. But that was step one of the 7-stage identity by design process, right? So you can imagine what the full 7 stages will do when you go through it, right? It's powerful, powerful stuff. And here's the best part. Each time you go through it, it just gets stronger. Edlin says, just got here. Well, fortunately for you, Edlin, there is a replay. Weight loss. You can use the gray room for weight loss. So another question, my subconscious mind gave me everything I asked when I lived like a monk. How do I get the same now? Exactly the same way. You don't need to be a monk to get your unconscious mind to give you stuff. You just need to train like one. How do you access the replay? Well, when I log off the webinar and Moss cancels the stream, there will probably be a 20 to 30 minute lag, I guess, between when the replay is processed and it shows back up in the feed. So usually within 20 to 30 minutes, you can start watching it again. And I would recommend you do, right? And And again, remember that the webinar package, the core webinar package, is available until 11:59 p.m. tonight. But the fast action bonuses, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, and the Virtual Intensive Super Tickets, they disappear when I log off the webinar. So if you haven't clicked your link before I log off the webinar, you're only going to get the core webinar package if you click that link before 11:59 p.m. Pacific time tonight. Liliana says, David, does belief and faith have anything to do with complete mind and life change? Yes and no. What we have discovered, because people tell us we can and can't do things, and then we have to prove them right or wrong. What we have discovered is that for a lot of the transformation work that most people want, you do not need belief for it to happen. Let me say that 2 more times. For much of the change work that we do and the way we do it, you do not need to believe it can happen for you for it to happen. What is necessary is that you actually have to want it and be willing to follow the instructions. We've spent a lot of one of the reasons that I'm very popular in the hypnotherapy and NLP world, sometimes I'm kind of infamous, is because I don't spend a lot of time with those people. What does that mean, David? It means I spend more time with regular, everyday people with no training. And so what I've found is it doesn't really matter what the person believes, as long as A, they actually want the change that they say they want, and B, they can follow the instructions we give them. If they have those 2 elements, everything else will happen as a byproduct of that process. There are certain things, when you get to a certain level of spiritual development, what you believe becomes much more important. But if you've gone through those training processes, then you have tools for transforming belief and working with belief. In the average untrained human who doesn't have access to what we have access to, your beliefs are huge. They're like icebergs that you can't change. But if you know what we teach you, and again, I'm not trying to put us on a pedestal or anything like that. If you know what we know, beliefs are not that big a deal. Because, like I told you at the beginning of the webinar, all of your beliefs, just like your traumas, just like your fantasies, just like your values, like your daydreams, like your memories, good or bad, are all built the same way, from the same stuff, by the same system. And if you understand the mechanics of that system, you can, in fact, make any change that you want, in my opinion, for any reason that you want. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I truly, truly believe that, and the clinical evidence is there. I have hundreds, if not thousands, of students all over the world who've done these things on themselves, by themselves, who've then gone to their families or to their patients or their clients and transformed their lives in minutes just from watching a video. So there's a lot of mythology and a lot of untested truths out there in the self-help and personal development space. A lot of them, although perhaps well-intentioned, will keep you stuck. But the idea that you have to believe you can change before you can change, it's not always true. You do have to want the change, though. You do have to want the change. If the desire component is there, the rest is kind of inevitable, if you follow our processes. So, Liliana, I hope that answers your question. Does faith and belief have anything to do with complete mind and life change? Ultimately, it will, but at the level we're talking about right now, it's not. It's not part of the big picture. Okay. And by the way, just so you know, I am an ordained Buddhist teacher. I'm working on my ordination in Christian mystical practices, and I got a healer priest ordination in Taoist Chinese energetic medicine. So I'm very much, I truly do understand the importance of faith and belief, but I also understand that there are levels in which they're more important than others, right? So belief is a factor, but beliefs can be changed, and they can be changed fast. And that's where the sticking point. Most people believe that their beliefs are set in stone, that they're very difficult to change, and they're not. They're not. Evelyn says, "What is your opinion of the law of assumption in Neville Goddard's work?" What's a funny factoid that for close to a decade, people would be posting on my YouTube channel, "You sound just like Neville Goddard. You sound just like Neville Goddard." And for 10 years, I had no idea who Neville Goddard was. And I never bothered to look. And then finally, the curiosity got better of me one day. It was like 2 years ago. I went and I started reading his stuff and like, this guy almost is pretty smart. So a lot of what Neville is teaching I think is in alignment with what we're doing. We just have more of a mechanical process to it. We'll actually give you the how to instead of the what to. And we'll make it as bulletproof and foolproof as possible. Liliana says, "I've always been thinking outside the box, breaking the codes and patterns. I was brought up with the kind of outdated." Okay, well, you can change that, right? One of the things that I learned a long time ago that informed a lot of my clinical work was that human beings labor under two very, very big delusions. The first one is that their memories, like their beliefs, are real. That your memories are, in fact, the thing that happened to you. And the truth is that they're not. Your beliefs are stories that you made up. They're decisions that you made based on the information you had at the time and the feelings in your body. That's all they are. Have you ever changed your mind about something? That's all a decision is. It just has a feeling of permanence attached to it, which is easy to change. Your memories are not real. Human beings are stuck in endless trauma loops, not because of the trauma that happened to them, but because of the way they recorded the trauma that happened to them. If you're driving down the road you're 16 years old and you get T-boned by a car at an intersection, and 20 years later, every time you go through an intersection, you break out in a cold sweat because you're reliving that memory. That T-bone, the actual impact of that car only happened one time. But you've been doing it to yourself for 20 years because you believe that the memory is the same as the car actually hitting you, and it's not. Your memories are imperfect recordings of something that happened to you once. That's the first great delusion. Second great delusion is that your memories are you. People operate under the assumption that the sum total of their memories is the totality of who they are, their identities. And that's not true either. That's like saying your video collection at home is the sum total of your entire entertainment experience. It simply isn't true. But it is the operational delusion that keeps people stuck because they believe, however wrongly, that if they let go of a memory or they change a memory, that they'll change who they are and they'll cease to be. Well, what if who you become is better? Right? So that, again, you'll learn about these in your home study course. These are all things that you as a therapist or someone who's interested in personal alchemy need to understand. And that's what this is. This is an alchemy program. Alchemy is the transformation of gross substances into refined, pure substances. And that's what each of these programs in tonight's course is going to do for you. It's going to take you step by step, systematically through every phase of transformation that you need to live your very best life and to communicate that very best life to everyone around you in every situation or circumstance. Okay. I've got about 5 or 10 minutes before I got to jump off. So if you haven't clicked the link, when would now be a good time to click your link so we can get started getting you on the fast track for your life? Julia, that's exactly right. Some people's trauma does not need a meditation, but justice. We have processes for that, believe it or not. In fact, we have a seminar, 5-day seminar coming up next month. It's called Real World Trauma Resolution. And that process of getting justice is embedded in all of the practices in that session. It's part of our system. Okay. And again, and you bring up a very, very powerful, very, very good point. Some people, they all say, in most of your therapeutic and healing practices, everybody throws around the F word. The F word is forgiveness. The problem with forgiveness, which means to let go, by the way, is people don't have a good definition of what that word actually means, what the mechanics of it are, and the willingness to go there. The truth is, most people, well, I won't say most, a good percentage of the people can't get to forgiveness until they've gotten justice for the thing that happened to them. And there are ways to do that without committing a crime or going to jail, right? And so we actually guide people and teach people how to do that as part of their healing process. David, if you've signed up for the process, there should be some emails showing up in your inbox any minute. If not, reach out to Moss or Mia, and they will make sure that you get taken care of. Liliana says, resentment, dang. What does that mean, Liliana? Unforgiveness. Yeah. I'll give you a quick story. I had a lady one time who came to me. I won't tell you what she was coming to me for, but let's say she had a boyfriend who was stepping out on her and came home and gave her a present she didn't want. And I remember vividly, I'm doing this process in advanced regression. We call it chair therapy. And in that process, you have the person and you have the perpetrator, and they sit in a chair, and the person, the subject role plays both parts. And she's going off on this guy. She says, if my grandma had known what you'd done, she'd have kicked your butt. Grandma was a black belt. And I, being the renegade therapist that I am, I said to her, well, go ahead and bring grandma in here and tell her what happened. She goes quiet for like 2 minutes. Next thing I know, she goes, ah! And she sat there for 7.5 minutes watching grandma beat this guy into a bloody pulp with a chair. After 7.5 minutes, I leaned over to her and I said, has he suffered enough? Has he paid for what he did? She goes, yeah, I'm good. I said, okay, well, when you're ready, and only when you're ready, have him ask for and receive forgiveness for all wrongs, real or imagined, and make him believe, and have him make you believe him. And she went through the process and let it go. And that was a very big lesson for me. I mean, I knew it from other things, but that was the time when, again, you, as a clinician, right, you're in the room, you're in a treatment room shoveling other people's crap 8 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, sometimes virtually or in person. And a lot of times you come up against situations and circumstances that the classical training doesn't give you answers to, and you have to figure it out. And that's when I realized that a lot of the classical training that a lot of people get was never tested. It was just passed down. And so a lot of times your teacher's limitations become your limitations because you never bother to test what you're being taught. Everything in your programs, guys, every single thing has been field tested, pressure tested in every environment you can think of. And some you probably can't. And taken back into the clinic room as the most unstoppable versions of those techniques. And we want you to embody that. I can't change everybody by myself. I need more of you out there doing this. And that's why I'm doing this. I want you to change. I want you to be the change you want in the world, right? Tao Te Ching says, if you want to change the world, change yourself. This is how I'm doing it. I need you to do it. Click the links and let's change you. And then by extension, we'll change the world together, right? All you need to do is click your link, go to nlppower.com/MIND. We will see you on the other side. You guys have any other questions that I can help you with? Okay, last call. Remember, here's what you're getting. Secrets of Personality Transformation, the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery Program, the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, Renegade Reframing, NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, and of course, your free pass to any virtual intensive of your choice. Total value on this is $14,482. You can get it all off our back to school special for just one low installment of $797, or you can break that up into 3 easy payments of just $333 each. All you got to do is click your link now. Go to www.nlppower.com/MIND, right? I want to thank you all for spending time with me. In the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, my friends. Click those links. I'll see you on the other side. Let's change the world together. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.